Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. And I just figured I'd do a long overdue chill stream. Um, so if you remember, if you saw the, excuse me, I just haven't been, I just haven't been driven to do streams and videos in some time. If you saw the previous video, you know that I think it was, hey man, I knew what's up. Uh, you'll you might recall that Sunday, December 22nd, before Christmas, I went to Kings Island with a friend and went ice skating. Yeah, wise decision at the age of 52, right? Figured, all right, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna make memories, have a blast, go skating for 90 minutes, and then thereafter, I probably won't do any sort of skating, ice, or roller. Excuse me, I keep yawning. Um, Ice or roller, and then that'll be that, and life will go on. We'll have that fun memory of having been. They had Winterfest there and all that good stuff. Uh, oh, you're researching a dog breed. Are you interested in getting a dog? Getting a dog of your own? I don't even know if you presently have your own dog. Excuse me. Also, what are you leaning towards, or what do you have it narrowed down to? Um, I can speak a little to English Bulldogs and Siberian Huskies. And German Shepherd mutts to some degree. So, 20. Man, I'm having a case or a bout of yawns. What the heck? I wasn't yawning this much earlier. I guess I haven't decided anything yet, especially after having to put Peanut down. Oh, sorry about Peanut. A Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Oh, interesting. I'm not familiar with that breed, so I couldn't provide any input whatsoever on that. But definitely would be cool to have another pet. If you, if you get another dog, are you considering getting it from like a shelter or something? Or, oh, you're into lap dogs. Okay. I usually like big dogs. Well, the the dogs we got were basically the decisions of my daughters. And they picked well overall. Uh, Excuse me. Are you looking for breeding potential, or just have a companion? One of my good friends has one of those small itty bitty dogs. Peanut was behaving aggressively towards me and others. If it wasn't so vigilant, I control her. Wow. I wonder why he's so aggressive. Did it have something to do with dealing with an illness or something, or a chronic illness that affect, like maybe your dog was in such pain. Nothing set in stone. Okay. Oh my gosh. But then there is some aggressiveness in animals if they're not comfortable with the people in the area. No, she just had a mean streak in her. This was just something in her. Really? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. Uh, what the hell? Why am I suddenly yawning so much? Um, so anyway, I was like 10 minutes into it, 10 minutes into skating, and I was on one of these assist things, right? These devices, I guess they're usually intended for children, but it's for anyone who needs additional support. I'm the one you typically see on the rink grasping on for dear life onto the perimeter railing. So I was on this device that basically resembled a dolphin. So I was holding on to the tail, which effectively turns me into a tripod, right? So I had my legs pointing outward slightly, my feet pointed outward slightly, and there were all kinds of skaters on the rink at once. In my opinion, perhaps too many. So I'm looking over my left shoulder, checking for traffic, checking for an opening, and then when I finally think it's a good idea to move, I'm about to go forward, but instead, it seems like I don't know if I was rotating too far left over my shoulder, but I felt myself falling in slow motion. And as I was falling, I could literally feel my right leg twisting as well. So I was like, holy crap. Well, I was thinking that, and I was thinking that. I didn't say it aloud. And I also noticed as I was falling, my feet were not changing position at all. They weren't lining up with each other or anything. They were still both pointed outwards in their set stationary position. So my freaking leg twisted on the right as I was falling down, and then I hit the ice, landed on my back. A couple people eventually asked, "Hey, are you all right? You all right?" And then people running the rink, they had someone in a little skate chair, if you will, haul me off the rink, and they kind of did a brief inspection of my ankle, but ultimately they couldn't do all that much. So they asked if I wanted to go see the nurse, and I eventually did. They put me on the little car there and took me to the first aid station, which was a short distance away, but I couldn't walk or anything. And first aid station couldn't do much of anything either. Basically, they didn't have an x-ray machine at all. So all they could do is remove the boot, inspect my leg. It was swollen as hell. They put ice on it. Well, they felt around just to see if there was uh, sign of any sign of broken bones poking out my leg. Unfortunately, there was not. So I was hoping I'd get away with just a sprained ankle, especially since that boot seemed to be pretty solid and keep my foot and leg in place, right? Let me see. When she was being good, she was very sweet, though. So she wasn't always a nightmare pooch. She has a very complicated dog. Oh, man. How many years did you have that dog? Oh, my gosh. That's cool. Um, yeah, so first they couldn't help all that much either. So they said, if I wanted, they more or less said, it's up to you what you want to do. We can't tell you what to do. We can't force you to do anything. And they said if you wanted, they could call ambulance for me. But last experience I had involving an ambulance with a family member is that ambulance costs like 10 grand. And I can't afford that. I can't afford diddly squat. So I said, nope, skip it. They gave me a lift to my car. I gave my friend a ride home after we did a quick Walmart run. And then I drove home. When I got out of my car, I figured, all right, I'm going to go to my apartment and then I'm going to ice it for 15 minutes, take it off the ice it another 15 minutes, take it off the ice, and repeat. And then the following morning, if I'm still feeling real bad, I'll go ahead and give in and go to the hospital, urgent care or ER. So I get out of my car and I start to put weight on my swollen ankle leg, and damn, the it gave out from under me. I hit the corner of my car and then rolled back, hitting the concrete sidewalk, landing on my back. 4 years old, okay. It's good you had that time with your dog, though. Got to know your dog really well. I hope you find another good dog. She's been gone since. Oh, that's pretty recent. That blows. Did you only have one dog, or did you have more? Like, did you have a companion? We used to have two, and then one of them passed, and for a while the remaining one was sulking around and sad. You know, I really believe they can feel lost just as any human can. uh, so anyway, I eventually went to ER. They took X-rays. They put me in a splint, and then sent me home with crutches. And I just did my best to get around my place in crutches. Ultimately, it turns out I'm not all that good in crutches. Even though it seemed like I was doing okay, I must have fallen the 4 to 5 times. couple times backwards because I didn't space out my steps enough, and sometimes I tried to not so much race ahead, but move a little too fast to make too big of strides is what I'm saying. And yeah, so this is so weird. All day I hadn't been yawning, and now that I'm streaming and talking, now I'm yawning a lot. I wonder if it has something to do with my not having anyone to talk to. So anyway, few days, actually, 24. I guess about a week later, I had a orthopedic surgeon appointment. They took X-rays, and then they had me get a CT scan, and they're like, "Yep, this is going to require surgery." Basically, the fibula, the small bone in the lower leg, that has a spiral fracture of several centimeters. So it's kind of like a barber's pole, if you imagine how it swirls downward. Well, I've got that kind of crack in the fibula, the smaller bone. The bigger bone, the tibia, there's two breaks near the base of the bone, such that part of that bone is not properly lined up. So you're supposed to have the whole bottom portion of the tibia kind of cupping the ball joint of the ankle. But like a portion of it, like a third of it, was broken and it was like jutted upward. So it wasn't even uh, making contact with the ball joint. So I went in for surgery, Friday, January 3rd. And was out. Excuse me. Let me see here. One dog, she was super dog aggressive, so there was no way in hell I'd have brought another dog in. That's wild. Super aggressive dog. So I take it you knew it was an aggressive dog when you got her? I wonder, was she like a rescue where she was having trouble finding a forever home, so you weighed the pros and the cons and decided, let me give this dog a home. And we'll see what we can do. Let me see something here. Oh, all right, never mind. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. I'm just kind of doing a recap of what's been going on recently. So, if you missed the beginning part, basically I went ice skating. I broke my leg 20 minutes into a 90-minute skating session. Got a splint. Got surgery. Got another splint. Was wearing that for some time. And then was at the ER hospital for several days. And while there, they were pulling blood work. They were giving uh, pain meds for pain management. Although they got something where they got something, a saying that is There's a difference between fracture pain and surgical pain. So it varies on the individual, but there's a tendency as the pain meds, what they call a nerve block, as those pain meds start to wear off from surgery, then there tends to be like a gradual or sudden increase in pain. So initially they were giving me oxycodone, but after several doses where I would tell them, well, I'm not feeling any pain, they eventually stopped. And because they want to make sure I didn't get hooked on it because it's an opioid. They stopped giving me that. And more or less, I get either I had a high pain tolerance or I just got really lucky because usually the first several days after surgery, people report having a pain. So they were their first level of pain management would be oxycodone. If it got any worse, then it would be IV morphine. And then level 3 would be IV. There's a level, I forget what it is now, but there's a level of pain management they can do after morphine, even. It's not dilaudid, is it? I'm not sure. But there's a level after it, believe it or not. Um, so, towards the end of my stay with the ER hospital, with them doing all of these blood tests and stuff, it turns out I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, and thus diabetes type 2. Yeah. Yep. So I got converted from hospital food regular diet to hospital food diabetes diet. And from the best I could tell, all that changed is that I couldn't eat as much as I wanted anymore. And they capped me at 60 grams of carbs per meal. Yep. Let me see here. I found out after I got her and she up and bit me. Oh, man. The biting didn't stop. I only managed to get her to stop making me bleed. Oh, man. Holy moly. Was that kind of a case of, instant regret or buyer's remorse or what have you? Holy moly. Yeah, I wouldn't be a fan of biting. I wonder if she came from like a previous owner who mistreated her. Yeah, sometimes you don't know just how bad they had it prior to you coming across them. Let me see. Yeah, so excuse me. So they were going to discharge me, and they were also pricking my finger 3 times a day, checking my blood sugar before every meal. And they started by giving me insulin injections into my arm. Not near as painful as I imagined they'd be, fortunately. And then when after maybe 2 or 3 days of that, they switched it. They started giving me metformin and they stopped the insulin injections. And then I seemed to stabilize. So then I went from there to an acute rehabilitation hospital and partook in. It was similar to the ER hospital, except this place was giving me roughly 3 hours to 4 hours of. It was physical therapy, occupational therapy, recreational therapy. So I was thankful to have gotten there. And from what I was hearing while there, I was actually kind of like lucky to have gotten to be there as long as I was, like 12 days, because insurance won't cover more than that, crazily enough. But um, yeah, they were surprised I was even admitted as long as I was. But I'm fortunate that I was there because, this is the first time I've ever broken a limb. And I'm new to all this stuff, new to this process. And now I'm dealing with type 2 diabetes and a confirmation of cholesterol and blood pressure being too high. Uh, so, was it Tuesday? Yeah. Tuesday, January 21st, I was discharged. I went to orthopedic surgeon follow-up appointment. Same day I was discharged. I coordinated it so that I would leave the rehab hospital and go straight to the orthopedic surgeon follow-up appointment. They cut off my splint, removed the sutures from the wound. Things overall seem to be healing nicely. And they fitted me with an air boot, also known as a walking cast. But in my case, I'm still classified as non-weight bearing, so I can't technically use it to walk with. I still have to wear the cast and keep any weight off of it. Excuse me. So after that appointment, I was discharged and sent home. And now I get approximately weekly nurse visits at home. I was supposed to get therapy at home, but they denied it. The orthopedic surgeon office denied it for some silly reason, even though it's fully covered under my insurance. I'm going to ask him about that tomorrow. Um, yeah. And then what else? What else? Yeah, so what this means is that, you know, I spent a little bit of time kind of wallowing in self pity since the injury, being in this really bummed out state. There's a big loss of mobility, so obviously I can't drive, and for those who drive, I'm sure you can understand that it's like it's cut off a chunk of your freedom. So I'm just kind of cleaning things up around the house and trying to navigate around uh, carefully, safely, because last thing I want is to fall down and injure myself and potentially make the leg worse. I have to keep my leg elevated regularly, keep the ace bandage on to prevent swelling and water retention, um, and all that good stuff. And shower daily at least. And basically, it just means I need to also, while this is healing, uh, I have to follow a, what is it called? Uh, nutritionative, nutritionative diet. Uh, that is basically lots of salad, broccoli, cauliflower, um, portion of fruit, uh, a portion of protein, a portion of small portion of carbs, nuts, berries, grapes, and a big part is going to be portion control because I so often partook in all you can eat buffets. So that's no longer on the table anymore. Even after I'm healed up, I don't think I'll be able to go to buffets. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'd want to, actually. Perhaps my buffet days are behind me. I read up every now and then and look for naturopathic options, and I came across this one that sounds kind of promising, but I'm concerned it might be a scam where it's kind of a multivitamin that is supposedly known for lowering your blood sugar, but I don't know if I'm going to pursue that. But I'm going to eat more salads and stuff and also try and maintain portion control because that's very important. It's what's thrown my blood sugar out of balance. Let's see here. She was very happy and social at first. It was more me not knowing how to react and trading out of her. So she wasn't abused. I just wasn't good at training her. Oh. I don't know what kinds of services you have in your area, but did you ever, well, maybe you'll mention it later, but do you ever like hire the services of a dog trainer, or if you happen to go to PetSmart? I don't know if you have PetSmart in your area, but they often have dog training classes. In short, it was a case of me and my dog being very mismatched. Now, enough of that. I've been playing Shadow Warrior 2 lately. Shadow Warrior 2, it's not ringing a bell. Are you enjoying it? Hey, Memes, what's up? Hey, Geek Chorus. Long time no see, no hear. You okay, dude? Yeah, if you rewind, this will be a relatively short stream. But I was just updating everyone in a quick recap for those who came in late. Uh, December 22nd, Sunday, I went to Kings Island and went ice skating. I broke my leg. Was in a splint. Got surgery done. My smaller bone in the lower right leg, the fibula, has a spiral fracture of several centimeters. And the big bone, the tibia, the base of the bone is cracked or broken in two spots. So at surgery, they installed screws and plates. If you were looking at the X-ray, the plates actually look like, are you familiar with? I think it's plumbing material, where it's like a metal strip and it's full of holes down the length of it. That's kind of what it looks like in the X-ray. I guess that's what they're calling plates. But yeah, so I've got metal in me, but you can't tell from the outside. Um, then they slapped on another splint. And then while I was in the ER hospital, they determined that I had high blood pressure, high uh, cholesterol, and type 2 diabetes. Uh, so that's fun. I tried searching for behaviorists. Most of them were too expensive, and she already flunked obedience school. Oh, that's too bad. Hey, Geek Chorus. Miss you too. Miss you, buddy. Hope we can chat again soon. Yeah, for sure. Faux show. I somehow managed to make it this far in life without breaking any bones. Your arm. Despite falling on concrete a few times. It's that damn Chinese buffet. Oh my gosh. Those buffets are the death of me. It I'm I'm pretty positive those and the Cece's buffets, Chinese buffets, Mongolian barbecues, eating multiple plates worth per session. I know they are so good. Gosh, darn it. Uh, it had to throw my uh jacked up my salt intake, threw my blood sugar out of whack. So I'm on a diabetes diet. I'm supposedly stabilized on blood sugar, so they didn't bother sending me home with even a blood sugar test kit, which I'm kind of half regretting. I might request I get, at the very least, a tester, just so I can test myself from time to time, make sure I'm still on track. But they just sent me home with some basic medications. I've got a medication for cholesterol, one for blood pressure, and one for blood sugar. That's metformin. One's for blood pressure, one's for cholesterol, and baby aspirin to to prevent blood clots. Yeah, speaking of falling on concrete, at my own family home in California, we during the summer, I think, I our cousins were visiting and we were having like a water balloon fight, and we were running around the house and I was running through the garage, and one time I slipped, fell backwards, and actually bonked my head. I think I closed my eyes momentarily, but then, I could, it was sore, but it didn't seem like it cracked my skull at all. I lucked out. God asked for that low sodium soy sauce. Yeah. I mean, I'm basically cutting back on salt, period. I mean, while I'm cooking, I might add some freshly ground salt, but if I even when I was at the hospitals, believe it or not, side note, I actually enjoy hospital food. They had a nice little variety, and you could like pick out meals ahead of time for the following day. Whenever they gave me salt packets, I wouldn't use them. I would just use the pepper packets occasionally. And then for coffee, I was just having the creamers eventually, and not bothering to use the sugar packets or the sweeteners. You know the weirdest thing about the hospitals today? Even though they're like their kitchens are basically kind of like catch-all, like they're covering the majority of the people out there. Like if you end up being tested and declared as having diabetes, their version of a diabetes diet is just capping you at 60 grams of carbs per meal. In other words, it's not truly a diabetics menu. For example, they have white bread and they have white rice instead of whole wheat bread and brown rice. It's kind of weird. Anywho, take care, dude. You're one of the purest souls in CG. We need you. Oh, you're so kind. One of the things I was meaning to start is some more unboxing videos, but I didn't get to it. Uh, I'm thinking of watching some more movies, and I wanted to. Do some more quick movie reviews, because when I was in the hospital, I saw a bunch of movies that I normally wouldn't have seen. Wow, I've already been rambling for 43 minutes. Uh, Dude, I hope you're doing okay, Geek Horse. And Mountain Dewey, I hope you find a good dog that better suits you, that you're a better match for, with, I guess. Uh, oh, I'll be having dinner soon. Trying to decide exactly what to have, though. I was thinking of making meatballs. I finally finished the one salad I'd made. I might make another giant salad, but I also gotta think of, let me see. took me forever to place some orders for stuff I needed, but eventually I managed to get some food ordered. I'm still waiting for a pill cutter to arrive, a body weight scale, like a bathroom scale, a blood pressure cuff. Oh, and I ordered some king size pillows. Uh, I'm presently using both of my memory foam pillows as support for elevating my leg when I'm sleeping, but I'm going to use these king size pillows instead when they arrive. I think I will have received everything I ordered by roughly February 6th. Uh, let's see here. Yeah, so upcoming plans, more movie bite reviews, some unboxings because I need to get these boxes out of the way. I actually have a buttload of movies yet to watch, but I've been consuming too much YouTube lately from my favorite content creators. I gotta start thinking about my channel, build it back up from the ashes as I squeeze in healing and doing exercises and stuff like that. Because I do have to do exercises while I'm here. And for those interested, I forget the name of this, spirometric or whatever. But basically, I have this other one too. I have two of these. Slightly different designs, but this era is probably on the low side for me. But you want that little notch to hover between those arrows, and what you're doing is you're inhaling. So if you're laying down a lot because you got to elevate your leg, when you're laying down a lot, you're actually, well, obviously you're not getting any exercise, right? Uh, so your your blood's not pumping really. Your lungs are just sitting there, and this kind of simulates aerobic activity, believe it or not. So I think you're supposed to use it like every couple hours. Just the other day, I was pushing myself too much. Just cleaning things, reorganizing stuff, moving things back and forth around my place. Uh, give myself more room to do stuff and all that. But in doing so, I was more or less upright, right? So that means all the blood rushes down to the leg. And the broken leg is supposed to be elevated, right? But when you're elevated, you're more or less on you're either seated or laying down. So that's where this comes in. So you inhale, believe it or not. You don't exhale, you inhale. You can exhale before you basically suck. You just do this a few times and it works your lungs. I'm also thinking during this recoup time, it might be the time to start doing CG book reviews. Got to read them and then review them. So that's basically how that works. And then they've got these stretches I can do. Oh crap. I've got to find a place that I got to figure out where I'm going to buy some weights. Basically dumbbells so I can do exercises while seated. I was thinking that I'd try and get what? A pair of 5-pounders, 7-pounders, and 10-pounders. I don't know if I'll be able to find a good price for it, or if I'll just have to, you know, if I'll just have to. In other words, I don't know if I'll be able to find a good price that's reasonable for uh, a set of weights, dumbbells, or if I'm gonna have to go with like buying pairs of them individually. I'll have to double check, I guess, Sam's Club and Walmart, maybe even Meijer. I wonder if Meijer would have it, but I've got to get stuff that I can have delivered because it's a pain in the arse, pain in the ass because trying to get out, take a Lyft or an Uber, get it, and then return home and try and drag it. Because I've got a rolling walker. I technically have a little wagon, a pull wagon. However, it's buried in my closet right now. I wouldn't be able to get to it easily. Previous Shadow War was a remake reboot. Excuse me. Seemingly, as the originals from the 90s, it is basically the same style of game as Doom and Duke Nukem. Really? Shadow Warrior. Really? Are you a ninja? Says it's called Shadow Warrior? Huh. Interesting. I'm still trying to decide what exactly to have for tonight's dinner. Excuse me. I'm kind of killing time as I think about it. I figure I'll end the stream maybe at the 1 hour mark, meaning about 5.5 minutes. Um, I was originally going to do like meatballs. Trying to figure out whether to make another salad already. I used up all my raspberry vinaigrette dressing, but I have tons of blue cheese dressing. I probably should have stocked up on Italian so that I have, you know, something based off of oil and vinegar instead of a creamy based dressing. Well, what I could also do is try and limit, try not to use as much of the creamy dressing as I normally would. Don't drown it. I did cook up some chicken drumsticks, using lemon pepper as the seasoning. Turned out good. But I already had chicken drumsticks as part of lunch. So let's see. Day before that, or actually, I guess it was last night, I was using hamburger as, like, what do you call it? Where you put a burger on fancy bread. It's still, oh, I guess it's kind of like a patty melt, is more or less what I was making. That was quite tasty. Seasoned ground beef with garlic powder and salt and pepper on both sides. And, try and keep it nice and thin so it cooks fast. I guess I could put like tomatoes and cheese on the fancy bread and grill it, kind of like a cheaper version of focaccia. Or I could use an air fryer. Maybe if it fits decent that way, yeah. Yeah, and use chunks of tomato, diced tomato, and maybe even fresh mushrooms. That's an idea. So do that. Or maybe, yeah, I don't want to make too much. After all, it's for me, and I don't want it to be too big a deal trying to reheat it after the fact. Welcome back, whoever just joined, or, well, I don't know if it's really welcome back, but hello. I'll be going for maybe a minute and a half more. I just want to update everyone, let everyone know what was going on and why I've been quote unquote away. Another quick recap. Basically, I made the wise decision at the age of 52 to go ice skating. I broke my leg and got surgery done. Excuse me, I was wearing a splint, and then they removed the splint, removed the sutures, and then put me in an air boot, aka walking cast. But mine, doctor's orders are non-weight bearing, so I cannot put any weight on it whatsoever. So I was discharged, sent home, and now I'm basically trying to take care of myself. And I was figuring on capping this stream very, very soon at about the 1 hour mark. And I was just contemplating dinner ideas for tonight. I got to try and be more consistent as to when I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner instead of having it fluctuate, But usually I try to go to bed, or I I take my evening meds at roughly 9:30, and then I try to go to bed around 10 or 11, which is a change from my usual crazy schedule. I tend to be like a night owl, but I'm also an early riser sometimes, which typically means that I'm lacking sleep. Oh, and as part of the recap, it was determined I have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, which led to type 2 diabetes. And this is not including the fact that I already have sleep apnea. Uh, with regards to that, Philips Respironics had a recall of their devices because they determined specific models were faulty, and I guess chunks of the filter or something were going in the air passages, so they could cause harm. So they're working through the whole remediation process. Originally, they were offering a payout of like $100. Now it's 50, or to send me a replacement CPAP unit, and I'm requesting a replacement. Nowadays, well, I heard that they've had these a while, but they've got these auto adjusting CPAP devices where it adjusts to your breathing needs. I don't know how on earth it actually determines that, but yeah. Oh shit, that means I have to bring. Yeah, I have to set up. Oh man, I gotta set myself up. Well, I've got an appointment with the person who was a general practitioner, my primary care physician, if you will. And I'm not the type who goes to the doctor all that often. If I were, then I probably would have caught all this sooner and had it addressed. But because it's been so long since I last saw him, I have to go in for an in-person visit again to reestablish my being his patient. So that's going to be a pain because I'm going to have to bring some of my, probably my discharge paperwork from the hospital and the rehab center, plus bring my old CPAP device. Do I? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I should. Um, yeah, I gotta see if there's any updates on when they're gonna send me my bloody replacement device. Um, yeah, so that'll be interesting. So that's the very latest. In terms of upcoming plans, I want to do some unboxings. Uh, and then I want to do some more movie reviews. And I should be reading up on my CG books as well. Yep, yep. All right, so we're looking at about an hour and 5 minutes. That's pretty close. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. I just want to update everyone, let them know where I've been. Hope all is well. Happy 2025. Uh, Happy swearing in ceremony. God bless America. God bless Trump. And take it easy, y'all. Bye.